All right, President Biden is set to meet with Ukraine's President Zelenskyy tomorrow as his country's bid to join NATO hangs in the balance. ABC's Faith Abube is in Washington with the latest.
Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelenskyy arriving in Lithuania's capital to a throng of supporters at a benefit concert for his country ahead of meetings with NATO allies.
Thanks, Lithuania. Thank you very much.
Zelenskyy dialing up the pressure on NATO before the trip to the historic summit, expressing frustration with the alliance for not committing to a time frame for his country to be granted NATO membership, calling it unprecedented and absurd.
The invitation will be issued when conditions are met.
NATO Chief Jens Stoltenberg reiterating the Defense Alliance's support for Ukraine, adding that members affirm that Ukraine will be permitted to join NATO when allies agree and conditions are met. The Biden administration insists Ukraine isn't ready yet.
President Biden's been very clear about this, and in fact the Ukrainians have too, that in the midst of a war, you're not going to take the membership step. But at the same time, beyond that, and the Ukrainians acknowledge this as well, they still have work to do.
This as President Biden touts NATO's expansion. Sweden now on a clear path to becoming the 32nd member of the Defense Alliance behind Finland after Turkey dropped its long-held opposition. It comes after months of negotiations and after the U.S. agreed to supply Turkey with F-16 fighter jets, but the Biden administration not confirming whether that was part of the agreement. In a bilateral meeting Tuesday, Biden praising the Turkish president for backing off of his initial objections to Sweden.
Thank you for your diplomacy and your courage to take that on.
And the White House says President Biden will attend several meetings at the NATO summit again tomorrow, including one with President Zelenskyy, and then he'll deliver remarks about the ongoing support for Ukraine. In Washington, Faith Abube, ABC News.
Under new defense plans, NATO aims to have up to 300,000 troops available to move into its eastern flank in defense of Ukraine within 30 days.